Hello, my research is about how elementary bands can be really effective at developing musicianship techniques and how musicians grow beginning in that beginning band and what the best practices for the elementary band really is. So my research is driven by the idea that there are best practices for elementary band that are really separated from the sixth grade band experience. The main idea of elementary band is to support the other levels of musicianship, so that they're supporting sixth grade, seventh grade, and eighth grade in the middle school level, and they're supporting high school and beyond. So they're basically supposed to be a feeder for these other programs. I have found through my research that elementary bands are the most supportive when they employ non-traditional band techniques, which is kind of odd if you think about it, because we want band to be all band, but a lot of the research that I've found it really hones in on non-traditional band methods. I've also found that there is more success when there's a wider recognition in the elementary band world of age-appropriate student goals. That kind of goes along with non-traditional band methods. We'll talk about that in a moment. The last one is effective vertically aligned collaboration. And what I mean by effective vertically aligned collaboration is that as a musician grows from that very beginning level in kindergarten, they are able to go vertically through the grade levels, like kindergarten through fifth grade is the elementary level, and then the next vertical tier would be middle school, and the next vertical tier would be high school, and then as they go on to college, like there is still a musicianship growth. So having that vertical collaboration between educators is very important. So non-traditional band methods. The research that I have found is centered on creativity, self-assessment, and developing student tools so that students are in charge of their own learning of music instead of being spoon-fed the music at such an early level. So the idea of cultivating creativity as well as the others, they really center on creativity. The student tools that we see most effective are frequent performance, the use of collaboration between students, between peers, and the idea that students can compose at any level. There is also more success in developing young musicians through the exploration of sound and through their understanding of basic techniques. So when they first get that instrument, that they're not right away learning written music, but they are instead exploring how to make sounds on their instrument, and that they are using self-evaluation to understand that what they are doing is at a certain level and that they could be at a much higher level later as they develop through learning their instrument. The next part of my research is about student learning goals. I've found research from educators, psychologists, and on the actual standards of music education. Learning goals are supposed to be communicated. They are the most effective when they're presented to the learner in a way that's fitted to their development. So this is where age appropriate comes in. A lot of the research that I have found going along with the idea of creativity and doing things in a non-traditional band way is that it has to fit the learner's development. At the 4th and 5th grade level, a lot of the research I found has advocated that 4th and 5th grade level is not, it's appropriate for them to learn instruments, but truly getting students to be musicians and have this idea of creativity and engagement in music is that it has to be developmentally appropriate for them. We see that research comes from Jerome Bruner, and he postulates that truly effective curriculum is spiraled, and the idea of the spiral is that it starts with one skill and everything is leading to the main skill later on that's projected. So spiraling would be developmentally appropriate for each level that the student is on. So depending on where your students are in the spiral, that really determines where they can be with their beginning band, wherever they are, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. We also see that that's important for vertically aligned collaboration, that having an idea of a spiral curriculum is really important for the learning goals themselves and for collaboration with the other music educators in your district. So vertical consistency, we see that in the communication of learning goals, and our main overarching communication of learning goals comes from the 2014 National Music Standards. That is like the ideal music curriculum is basically what is in the music standards. There are 4 main strands: create, perform, respond, and connect. Create is probably the most important that we see in band, that we want our students to be creating. We want them to be creating and performing. But the standards also use respond and connect, and those we saw earlier in the research from creativity and using non-traditional band methods, that being able to respond to music and connect it to our lives and refine through performance is really important through our self-assessment. It also helps us see a clear path for collaboration among school districts and school district goals and all the music teachers in one district. That brings us to vertically aligned collaboration. My research has found that collaboration goes right along with recruitment. So if a district has teachers that are collaborating, students are more likely to be engaged in the other tiers of band. Some research that I have found is on the idea of how band directors communicate their recruitment goals, or how they recruit students. One article talked about how, identifying current methods of recruitment, like current planning and current evaluation of a band director's recruitment. And then she later suggested that if they had used marketing tools, like things that we use outside of the music band world, we use those in business, using the marketing tools related to that would be more effective in recruiting. And I agree. One of the other articles that I found talked about using public performance and performing for younger students and having a goal, like a physical, visual goal of what students will be when they are in that next level. So the 4th grade and 5th grade band could be more effective if they see that way ahead, and they would be able to be a better feeder program if all of their students were more likely to join band in 6th grade when they actually have a choice. We see that would make a more effective feeder program, more effective musicianship group overall. And then I have many sources. These are the ones that I have singled out right away in my presentation. Feel free to ask me questions or comment on this presentation or my research. I'll be happy to answer anything or just speak about what I have found. Thanks so much.